Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, so it's the day after the election. We hope you're all doing okay. Is everybody?
I have no clue how to feel because we're not there.
Yeah.
We hope there's an answer.
We hope there's an answer. If there isn't, we hope you're all hanging in there, you know, taking care of yourself. I hope you have some liquid IV in case you have a hangover.
Yep.
Yes.
We record on Saturdays. And so this is the Saturday before the election. I do have Wednesday the 6th when this drops off.
I put a possibly, I put it in the calendar. I said Keegan possibly out of the office this day. Just, I want to cover my bases just in case if I need to take a mental health day, you know, take care of yourself.
I took the 7th off too because I'm like, I ain't fucking around just in case. It's that time difference. I don't know.
But once we get past this, we are definitely like, holidays.
Holiday season. Yes. Okay. So I have to talk to you about this because I had seen on Netflix, they're releasing like a new holiday movie like every Friday in November through Christmas or something like that. It's like a lot. So I saw them starting to come up on the coming up soon on Netflix. Yeah. And I was keeping them in mind because oftentimes if we have the capacity, we'll do a bonus holiday movie for Patreon for all patron levels. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, well, maybe we could do this. Maybe we could do that. And then I saw Hot Frosty.
I don't know what you're talking
Now listen.
It doesn't even make sense.
Oh, it makes perfect
bonkers.
sense. It is exactly what it sounds like. If you've ever watched the animated Frosty the Snowman movie and the kids put a scarf on a snowman and then that snowman comes to life.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the same thing, except for it's Lacey Chabert who got kicked off of Hallmark for being too old. Put a pin in that.
Which is
wild.
Which is insane. But so she's like, fuck you, I'll just go to Netflix.
Okay.
Same situation. She's like walking around the town square and somebody has made like a Michelangelo, like out of snowman, like hot snowman with abs in the town square. And she takes off.
How you do.
How you do. And so she takes off her scarf and she puts it on the snowman and the snowman comes to life. And he is a hot Frosty. The snowman that of course she falls in love with.
Yes, of course. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But I think like Frosty, you know, because in the movie Frosty, it's like he's a snowman. He's going to like melt. And like you have to keep him from, you know.
She just like keep him in a chest freezer?
I don't know. We're going to have to watch to find out. So if you haven't joined us on Patreon yet.
Oh my God.
Now might be the perfect time.
Hot Frosty. Oh my God.
Just like they didn't even try with that name.
For sure ChatGPT wrote that.
Like
1,000%.
You couldn't have come up with a better title than just like, I don't know. It's basically the Frosty story. Just put hot in front of it.
And they literally were like, that's what they put in for hot into ChatGPT. They were like, make a story about a hot guy who comes to life a la Frosty the Snowman. I mean, and that is the script.
To be fair, this does sound like a cheap romance. Like this would be on Too Stupid to Live, that podcast where it's all romances under $5. Sure. This sounds like exactly something that would be on there that they've just turned into a movie. So I personally, I can't wait.
Oh my God. Speaking of that, I don't know how I got on this TikTok, possibly because I'm like book talk adjacent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea that women are going around listening to not audiobooks, but like just straight up audio porn.
Oh yeah. Dipsy.
What?
Yeah.
What?
There's an app called Dipsy that, and I haven't used it. I have it on my phone because someone told me about it, but there is
trust no women with headphones anymore now.
No. They're listening to hardcore fucking.
Yeah. So Dipsy is like, it is an audio app where they read erotic novels, basically. So you could be just
with
like
sound effects and
vacuuming
stuff.
your living room.
I don't think it's for me.
Do you know how like listen, nothing against it. I fucking love reading porn. I do. It's one of my favorite things.
True.
Love it.
But I don't like listening to it.
Exactly. Listening to like a man be like, bend over, you dirty whore.
Oh my God.
Oh, excuse me?
Yeah.
It's like not even noon yet, Christina.
Like,
my God.
Yeah.
I'm like supposed to be on a plane. Like, a plane and so yeah, take it, you fucking whore.
Oh, and it's always so
uncomfortable,
and they're reading it, so it's like, yeah,
it's not for me, dog.
Yeah, you know what? I'll take one.
Christina walked into the house. Eric said, "Stop right there."
Okay, no, Cassie. Cassie, you've made it way too personal. You cannot do that.
Nope, it's got to be like have some sort of like fairy or vampire or something in it.
Yes. I'll tell you this. I will give next
and
episode.
His wings flew out of his back.
Next episode, I will give you a review. Because I have it on my phone. I might as well. I'll listen and I'll let you know how good or bad it is.
I will get the app. I did not know that was the name of the app, but I will get it and review. I'll listen to it on my drive.
Dipsy, if you like it,
should we listen to the same book? This should be a bonus. Should we listen to the same book?
There we go. All right.
Sure. We'll work that out later. To be determined.
Audiobooks, I'm starting to get into.
I like audiobooks.
Because I drive and stuff a lot more, but I just don't know. Like, I can read some pretty filthy things.
Have you done that in public? Because I have.
Reading. Oh, yeah. I'll read like incredibly filthy shit in public, but something about like listening to it is different.
My face.
I can't figure out why.
You'd be checking the volume, just like, I wonder.
Yeah. Oh my God. There'd be the one time your earbuds disconnected, it just starts playing on your phone.
And next to somebody's Bluetooth.
Or you get in the car, like you're taking your mom to like an appointment and it connects to your car stereo or something.
No.
You know, I have to say, I love this era for women though, where it's just like we have cutesy little books that have cutesy little, illustrated covers that are just the most filthy, disgusting shit you've ever read in your life. We have fantasy books that they're like, oh, that's an interesting fantasy series. And it's like, okay, but it is like half fairy porn.
Yes.
It's
so much fairies fucking. Yes, all the time. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I like that. Yeah, it's just women are like, this is our thing now. And the men are so shocked because they really only consume porn in one way. And women have a myriad of ways. How do you like it?
I think this says a lot about how women and men do consume porn. Because let's be honest, we read straight filth sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
And sometimes as filthy, if not filthier than some porn I've seen. So I think it's funny. Like, I'm not against porn, but it's like fast done.
Yes,
where we're like, we want to be consumed by it for a while.
For the long haul, right? Where it's just like, if you watch porn, it's because you need to like get in and get out. It's like you have a need that needs to be fulfilled at this moment, right? Where it's just like when you're reading a book that has a plot, there's anticipation happening.
Yes.
Like you can drag that shit out for several days, you know? So
that's right.
Yeah, it's a different thing, like reading it versus I think also like watching porn videos too. Like my imagination is giving me exactly what I want when I'm reading it. The people look like they want there's no one getting exploited. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm in my head, I'm in my wonderful, happy place. But like there's, when you're seeing videos, sometimes there's just like a lot of things that'll draw you out to that you're like, I don't love that.
Okay, I have a question for you both then, because I know that this has been a conversation on Book Talk, and it's when you're talking about erotic novels, and you're starting to head into like dark fantasy and stuff like that, because no one is getting hurt. These are all fictional, characters. It's all stuff that's going on in your head. Do you think that's harmful at all?
Oh.
Because there's a lot of conversation about that, as like whether or not these things should be created, these, situations that like they're fantasy situations,
right?
But in real life would be considered dangerous or terrible situations.
Yeah.
And I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how I feel about it. I can see the arguments on both sides, I guess.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting question.
I think it's up to the individual to edit what they read, right? Like, I don't think, if it's being made, to consume, you are reading. You aren't harming anybody.
It's
harming
living in your
anyone
head.
by reading it.
Right.
Exactly. It's completely fake. It's completely imaginative. It's all in your brain.
Yeah. I guess it's the
And
same.
I think we've said this before, where it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, that's hot, but I don't want to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
And I feel that
Like,
way about regular porn.
in
There are
theory.
regular porn that I watch
Exactly.
that I'm like, or read that I'm like, I like this for you in this
Yes.
scenario, and I
This
think
is
it's
hot.
sexy, but I wouldn't want to do it myself in real life. So I guess
Exactly.
that's
Right.
true, and it's the same argument as like video games, right? Where it's
Right.
like not everybody who plays a violent video game wants to commit violence.
That's right.
So it is person to person. Okay, I like that answer.
I also get nervous when it's like when we're talking about censorship as much as like
Exactly.
as much as there's a lot of fucking distasteful stuff like online and everything like that. It's like as soon as you start getting into what is acceptable and what isn't, you're just
Yeah,
it's a slippery slope
Yeah.
to.
I
agree.
agree. I agree.
I agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we solved that problem for everybody.
Oh my goodness! Well,
Send
we're-
your questions to. No.
Yes, exactly. And we will be updating you on the Dipsy conversation for sure. So
Yeah.
stay tuned. We can all listen to our audio filth together. It's Scorpio season, ladies.
Scorpio.
Sorry,
Yep.
Cassie.
Yeah.
I have to say this. I feel like, we talk a lot about which signs get the worst rap. And I have to say, I think Scorpios get the worst rap.
I don't mind a Scorpio.
I don't either for
I
the
think
most
they're
part.
kind of hot and they're good in bed.
Yeah. Especially women Scorpios I know have always been just like very direct, very like to the point. They're kind of no nonsense about what they believe in. They're very passionate people in general. But yeah, I mean, Scorpios, I feel like you hear that and a lot of people are like, oh, no, like people are scared of Scorpios maybe. And I do think that they're in general pretty intense people, but that can go either direction.
Right. As someone that's a Capricorn sun and a Virgo rising, when you're talking about intense people, I think I'm about as intense as you get.
But Scorpio is good for that sign.
Right. Yeah.
As an Aries.
Not so great.
Fire me gasoline.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's find some hot Scorpios.
Okay, you know who I'm going to
All
go
right.
with? I know already. I'm going to go with Frank Ocean.
I knew that's who you're gonna. I just scrolled
Yeah.
back and I was like, "Yep, that's who."
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Even in this picture, he has on that shirt that says, "Why be racist, sexist, homophobic, or transphobic when you could just be quiet?" And I'm like, oh,
Amen.
I love Frank Ocean so much.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with Eric Dane. He was on Grey's Anatomy. He's super hot. He's married to Rebecca Gayheart. I just
Okay.
think he's so hot.
Yeah, okay, I got him.
Grey's Anatomy guy.
Oh, okay.
He's been on a few things.
Yeah.
But that's always what I remember him from.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many we've done. You know what? I'm gonna do Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
All right.
I like that.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we have Eric Dane, Jimmy Kimmel,
Mm-hmm.
Frank Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, these are three very different Scorpios.
Yes.
Totally.
Very different vibes.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Eric Dane. I do think he's an attractive man. Jimmy Kimmel, there is something about his energy that does not surprise me that he's a Scorpio. Like I'm just like, there's something mischievous about your vibe.
It's very impish.
Yes, that
Yeah.
I'm like, I totally get that. And Frank Ocean is kind of like the emotional, secretive, kind of intense.
Yeah,
Scorpio.
I'd love to see the rest of their chart. Like what's rising.
Oh,
what's their moon.
100%.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you search Frank Ocean's birth chart, you can find it.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
I'm
got Pisces. He's like a
in there.
Pisces
Yeah,
moon or something.
Which I will be honest, a Scorpio Sun Pisces moon, I'm a little scared. Like,
Yeah.
a little bit
now I'm
scared of
curious.
you. Yeah, gonna be real.
Yeah.
But I do really love Frank Ocean. I know he would not be interested in me sexually. However, in this scenario, I am. Oh God. This is hard.
It really is,
It's
right?
actually hard.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna marry Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure those words were gonna come out of my mouth. But I am gonna do that. Because he seems like maybe the one who takes himself the least seriously, you know? As I'm saying this, I feel like maybe I'm making a mistake.
Oh no.
Well, it's just anytime you go for a comedian, it's a real toss.
Yeah.
It's a real coin
Yeah.
toss, you know?
The thing that I have noticed, like just thinking about, like he's been married to his wife for a really long time. They, he's clearly loves his kids, seeing him cry about his son and his heart condition. And there's a lot, and then like Eric Dane, he's been married to Rebecca Gayheart for since 2004. I mean, I think they seem to be surprisingly
loyal.
Yeah, loyal with the same person for a really long time,
Yeah. I just don't know enough about Eric Dane, I guess. His energy does seem calm from what I've seen. But I feel like I could get a little bored. I feel like maybe it might be a little too boring. I feel like, okay, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with Jimmy Kimmel. And then I'm going to fuck Frank Ocean, but I need us to go on a date first because I think that would be really interesting to go on a date with Frank Ocean.
Oh,
Don't you think so? I'm just I bet he says just the most
take you to this weird bar. You have to climb in a locker to get
100%. There's weird lighting
locker.
happening. It's a lot of pink and blue lights going on wherever you go. And definitely I think that he will say the most surprising, engaging shit. You're going to have the weirdest, most unexpected conversation, but it's going to be the best conversation, So yeah, I'm going to fuck Frank Ocean. And then I guess I will kill Eric Dane. No offense. I think you're hot.
Yeah.
I just don't know you. I just don't know you like that. That's all.
I've been doing some research. So Cassie, I'm almost there. You have to go next.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm gonna wow you guys.
Oh boy.
Oh shit. Okay. I think that he was called McSteamy for a reason. His character was not always the most lovable guy.
I've never seen a single episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Me neither.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I don't know
that I started watching it kind of randomly because I was here. I was here in Germany and I was by myself. So I was I just need something to watch as I'm going to sleep kind of thing.
No, it's a miracle that we've not seen a single episode of it because it's been on the air for 25 fucking years.
1,000 years. Yeah. I did stop watching it because I was getting to a point where I was I like where it's at now. And I think at some point it's going to start to go off the rails. Yeah. So I'm just going to stay right here in this happy little zone where, and then they all lived happily ever after.
Eric Dane does give Hot Frosty energy. I feel like there's something a little icy about him, but he's definitely got abs,
I am going to marry Eric Dane.
I like that.
Yeah. And I'm going to fuck Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh,
because
okay.
I think
he's going to surprise you. I do.
I think there's a surprise laying there.
I do. You know what? I don't know what it is, but I do. I think that there's he's unassuming. I think he's going to be surprisingly good in bed. I just get a vibe.
He is an Aries moon.
Oh, I was just saying it's going to be that, or he's going to cry in bed.
No, he's
Scorpio sun, Aries moon.
Yeah.
Oh, honey bunny.
No, I've made my choice.
Yeah.
So
I'm
sticking
here
by
already.
him. I'm sticking by him.
I'm standing beside him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I chose him.
Frank Ocean is a Scorpio rising and a Capricorn moon.
Oh, we have the same moon sign.
Yep,
Amazing.
that's actually really good for a relationship.
Yeah,
Someone that has your
balance
moon sign. Yeah,
yeah, but I am a little. That's a bit of a very intense big three. A Scorpio sun, a Scorpio rising, and a Capricorn moon.
Yeah,
it's very, very intense energy. But again, I think
serious.
we're gonna have the most like weirdly intense conversation in the corner of a loud, weird ass club. And I am here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also probably like finger bang you. Like, yeah.
He's
somewhere in
gonna,
that, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere on that date.
He'll do
inappropriate.
inappropriate shit that's very sexy. Yes.
And then Eric Dane is Scorpio sun, Pisces rising, and Sagittarius moon.
That's chaos. I can't do that. No.
So
you chose him. You gotta stand beside him, Cassie. You do.
Oh, well, it was nice knowing you guys.
So I don't know what I should do, but I was leaning towards Kimmel, but that does not seem like a safe place for me to be at all.
No.
Not even a little.
I think you gotta
I gotta go with Eric Dane.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaos, but it's going to be better chaos than the other.
To be honest, all three of these options, if we're just looking at their big threes, like all three of these options are chaotic in their own way, in very different ways.
I don't know. Frank Ocean seems the most steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie, but you're right. Not chaotic, but very intense.
Yeah.
Intense, but balanced because of his earth and water combo. That's going to be balance him out.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go, like, I'm going to have the same date with Frank Ocean, actually. I'm like,
I like that for you.
Oh my God. The fucking alien conversations that we're going to have. Oh my God. Be like, did you see that article in Scientific American? He's like, I wrote it.
Scientific American, the most bonkers ass magazine on the planet.
There is just something about Frank Ocean.
Popular Science.
I want to spend time with him so badly. I think that his mind, first of all, I love his music so much. I think that he's like such a genius when it comes to songwriting and music. And there's something just so hot about his very aloof energy.
Yeah.
I want to get in there. I want to dig deep.
Yep. Well, it's also like if somebody is generally like aloof and withheld, it's so
when they let
rewarding.
You in. Oh,
yeah. When you're able to crack them open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a Capricorn moon. He's going to be hard to crack open. A Capricorn Scorpio combo, he's like a vault.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to get in there. Yep.
Yep.
I want to get in there. Oh, well.
Get on in there.
Get on in there. You guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Yes. And we're back. Okay. It's Cassie's turn to go first this week.
Yes. So this story starts out, please laugh at my expense.
Happily.
Date began wonderfully. I was clad in a long sweater dress, wearing my hair extensions, new witchy earrings, and my ducks. Greet him, and he's wearing a flat cap, which is my strange weakness. Oh. It was lovely, and so was he.
Okay.
What is a flat cap? Is it one of those flat hats?
I feel like I
Here, hold on. I'll Google it real quick. Oh, hold on. Is it one of those flat hats?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Christina.
Yes, it's this thing.
Oh, yes,
it's
that's
like you look like you're in the Newsies.
Yeah,
you look like a newsie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do we feel?
Newsie is exactly the word I was trying to think of.
You know,
it's like an old timey.
It's not. Well, no, that's not true because like Cillian Murphy,
On the right
Peaky
person.
Blinder
Right,
kind
but
of
I'm like,
vibe.
Yes.
But that felt appropriate, right?
Right.
So I'm like, yes, like Cillian Murphy in Peaky Blinders, hot. IRL.
Chris
can rock a hat.
Yeah, he could. Okay, I guess it's
Eric
dependent on the
cannot.
person.
Eric is not
It's
a hat
got to
man.
be the right person.
Yeah, it's got to be the right person.
Yes, it has
vibe.
to be the right vibe.
Yeah.
Everything's
Totally.
got to go with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. We won't do it
I mean, it's not a
across the board.
fedora.
Yeah. Well,
true.
yeah.
Thank
Oof.
God.
Yeah. But
All
it's
right.
dangerously close to a Kangol.
It's
Listen,
you have to be
it
a
is.
confident man to pull this hat off. Like that's all I'm saying. It's just like I don't think across the board I could say like flat caps are my weakness because like I really think it's probably 10% of all men could pull it off, you know?
Oh, I'd go
In
lower.
the 90s, for sure was a weakness. The Kangol hat, please.
Oh, yeah.
Are you crazy?
That's true.
Like
It was a thing.
Yeah, it was hot. It was a thing for sure. I definitely had a crush on a few Kangol guys.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yes. Okay. He made a comment on my breasts and how he wasn't aware how big they were from my pics.
Why?
10 minutes into the date.
Look, not everything needs to come out of your mouth.
Nope.
It's okay that you had that thought. That thought can stay inside your head. You don't
That's
need
right.
that doesn't need to come out your mouth.
Yeah.
Why?
Say right inside.
That's like such
it.
a child thing to do, to
It
be like,
is.
to think it, say it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, big titties. You know, it's like, you don't need to.
Where'd your filter go?
Oh, God.
10 minutes into the date, this immediately set me off, but I brushed it off. He said it again later that night. What the fuck? His mother called, which I told him to answer it, find out he's the only person she has, which is heartbreaking. His family is pretty awful, so I feel terrible for him. He informs me that if he doesn't talk to his mother every day or every other day, she gets worried. Now, this can be good or bad.
Yeah.
It's great to have such a close relationship with a parent, but I also worry about the future. Totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, I find out that he's 42. And I sorry,
pause. You're 42 and you can't edit, big old titties whenever you see somebody
And
in
you
person.
talk to your mommy.
I mean, the mom thing. Yes, I agree.
When you realize that
boy,
he's like the only person,
yeah,
and she was probably maybe possibly like getting elderly, possibly.
Yeah, maybe she's really lonely. Like I could
Sure.
see that. Like if it's like you check in every day because your mom is really lonely and maybe you're the only person she has, like whatever. But you do want to keep an eye on it because as we've said before, once you go into like weird mommy boy territory,
Yes.
it gets
It
deeply
could be-
uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's been single all this time. They could have a weird attachment.
Ooh, has he?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know.
I'm speculating.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
editorializing your story.
You really are. We don't know. For the record,
We don't know.
do
Maybe
not
he's
know.
freshly divorced. I don't know.
We
Maybe he couldn't stop
do not
commenting
know.
on other women's breasts and his wife was like, goodbye.
Boobies. Anyway, I find out that he's 42. I excitedly announce that he knows the answer to everything, which is a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference. He didn't understand the reference, so my nerdy heart was tiny bit crushed.
Oh, you can't blame him for that. That's a niche reference.
It's a little obscure for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you've connected on stuff like maybe nerdy things, that might be a little bit like, oh, well, that's a bummer. You don't know that one, He doesn't read much. I mean, if it's not your thing, I get it. I'm reading about 5 books right now because I like to switch back and forth. I will tell you, that is not a turn on. If I knew Chris wasn't a reader, I think that might be a little bit of a turn off for me. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why.
Chris reads
I can't
a lot.
explain it.
So, yeah, I mean, look, everyone has different hobbies. I know some people like really have a difficult time sitting and reading, whether that's because they have like ADHD or whatever it is that makes them sleepy. I'm a big reader and I find it's not a deal breaker for me if you're not a big reader.
Right. It's not a deal breaker.
It's sexier if I know that you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. There it is. It's exactly right. It's
Yeah.
not a deal breaker. I'm not like turned off necessarily, but if I know that you're a reader, I'm turned on.
Yes, exactly. Precisely.
Yeah. So 5 books right now because I like to switch back and forth. He also wasn't much into Marvel and the MCU, which is one of my biggest desires because I wanted to nerd out about the multiverse theories and the like. This is also stated in my damn profile.
Okay, I was
there you
about
go.
to say that. I'm like, if this is something that's important to her, it should definitely be highlighted in her profile. And I guess it is.
It is highlighted in her profile. The evening progresses and I take him back to my place. We start watching Wednesday because he hadn't seen it. Things get steamy and I take him to my room. We're about to, how do the kids say it, hit a home run?
Oh.
I have fucking no clue.
Oh, God.
Walk off grand
goes-
slam.
Yeah.
Go Dodgers?
He goes to put a condom on but needs to use the bathroom. He proceeds to spend 20 minutes in there making every noise a human body can make, followed by vocals. Excellent range, I must say. I'm laying there under the blankets,
singing
laughing.
in the bathroom?
Probably trying to cover up some other sounds that are happening.
Yeah.
That would be my
Yes.
guess.
That's exactly
home on the range. Just sitting.
I didn't know there were horns in that song.
Oh my God. It makes me think of that TikTok where that woman's like, ugh, my stomach be so upset. It sounds like the beginning of Rack City.
Oh my God.
It's like, brrr. Someone's like, oh.
Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. Oh my God. I'm laying there under the blanket laughing under my breath because this shit is so frustrating that it's funny.
Guys,
I'm
we're not having sex after this.
that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
we've talked about it before. I can't be like connected. I won't be able to take my head out of what just happened in there.
Yeah,
that's
you know
right.
what I mean?
The proximity of poop is
a
turn off.
It's hard. It's a first date.
I can't.
Yeah.
I will not be thinking about anything else except for the fact that I'm just like, did you wipe well enough? Like, I don't have a bidet.
Oh.
Like, I won't be able to.
No.
No.
Lives there forever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so turned off, and it's not his fault. It's just the situation sucked. I was just cackling out of frustration. Then I ended up getting dressed, making myself a poke bowl, and making tea.
Yeah. See ya. Go home.
Okay. Night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Night.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, you can't get busy after you've, been in the bathroom for that amount of time.
I also wouldn't want to. I wouldn't feel sexy.
Right.
If I just fought for my life in the bathroom, I'm not trying to hook up after that. I'll be like, I'll call you. Going home.
I'll be honest, even if you were just peeing in my bathroom for 20 minutes and we're singing.
For 20 minutes?
I'm out.
This is too long. What's going on
it's
in
too
there?
long.
Well, I'm also wondering, it's a guy in his 40s that, he could be having some issues. You know
That's
what
why
I mean?
he's singing.
Maybe
Amazing
to it.
Singing to it. Yeah, Snake Charming.
Also turned off.
He gets a recorder out.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Home on the range. As Keegan suggested.
It's Keegan's like mood music.
Yeah.
It's all like
Better or worse than Ghostbusters? I don't know.
That's tough.
Worse.
Yeah, there's a little bit of swing in Ghostbusters at
Exactly.
least.
That's true.
Little movement.
Oh my God. Okay. Here's my date. Matched with a girl on Tinder. She was absolutely gorgeous, funny, tall, worked as an aerospace engineer, lived in a very nice part of town. I know myself well, and it's not adding up in my head why she's interested in me.
A self-aware king. I respect this.
He's like, something's
That's
not
right.
adding up.
It's not right.
No.
Look, I've been there. I've been there before where I'm just like, this doesn't feel right.
This doesn't add up.
I
You're
know
not,
myself, and I don't think I underrate myself that much. And I'm
Right.
no.
No,
I feel uncomfortable.
it's not
by
matching
your
up.
interest in me.
Okay. Like, I'm 8 out of 10, but she's quite honestly pretty perfect. Go on the date, and it's honestly one of the best, if not the best date I've ever been on. Conversation was flowing. Food was amazing. We definitely connected so well. Went back to her house to drop her off, and we made out at her door. She says she wants to let me spend the night, but she's not ready. Invites me over Friday night. I go, everything is great. We're watching a movie. She says she's going to the bathroom. I'm watching the movie and realizing she's been gone for 15 minutes.
Oh, theme.
Then she comes walking down the hall in a full-on cat suit. Legit thousands of dollars invested in this lifelike cat suit. It has claws, moving ears.
No,
fur.
no.
Christina.
Well, actually, hold on.
Keegan.
Wait, but like she's really, really hot.
Yeah.
And really, really smart.
And successful.
And like, so what if this was just like her one weird thing? Could you get over it? If it was just like everything else about this person, she's smart, she's funny, she's financially successful, she's like she checks every other box.
But she likes to dress up like a cat.
She likes to dress up.
Full on.
Yeah.
Meow, meow.
Moving ears. And she even has a cat tail butt plug in.
Hun bun.
I do feel like you have to warn someone.
Yeah, you can't fucking.
I don't.
If you're watching like a fucking movie, you're Netflix and chilling, and then your date comes in dressed like fucking Jellico or whatever the fuck.
A Jellicle cat. Yeah. I literally. I mean, yeah, it would take you a minute.
It would
adjust.
A minute.
A 10 out of 10, Cassie.
Time.
She's a 10 out of 10.
Boop. I'm like, where's the moat?
Yeah.
I can't. No.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, I actually think if everything else on paper, like they're getting along, dates are going fucking great. She's like a 10 out of 10. So I'm putting myself in this guy. I'm like, if this is the thing,
exactly.
I could probably do this.
I think I could get around it. I do. And I did not think I was going to say that when you said she came down the stairs in that stew. I was like, no. But
he's going to fuck her.
If it's just
he's a guy.
one thing.
Mm-hmm. So I asked
They're
her,
married now.
What's all this?
What's all this then?
She explains she cannot get off unless she is wearing it.
Okay.
So I'm
that's a bit of an issue. Like if you like it, that's one thing. If you cannot get off,
can't do it anything unless you're dressed like a cat, that's a lot.
I think we need to unpack that in therapy.
I can play that game a few times.
Right. It's going to get old if it's every single time.
But every time.
Every fucking time.
And it rules out any spontaneous sex.
That's right. You gotta go and get changed.
Yeah, it takes you 15 minutes to get in that get up.
Be right back.
That might be what, if you every once in a while wanted to do that, and if that's your thing, like whatever. But so he's like, well, fuck it. Maybe I'll love it too. She had been so open and so kind since I met her that I was willing to try. So she starts kissing and licking me, scratching me, and I was like, ow, okay.
Ouch.
But I got naked and slid inside her, and she starts meowing, and I'm like,
okay. We're all right. We're getting into really uncomfy territory for me as a person with cat children. Yeah,
my cat's looking at me right now. He knows. He can't hear you, but he knows.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. It's audio porn.
Oh,
stop looking, Chuck.
So at this point, I'm trying to get this over with kind of quickly, and so I start meowing louder than her, and she's going totally nuts and loving it. So then I pin her arms behind her back and hiss, and she's just loving it. Then she pulls out her plug, grabs lube, and she wants me to go as rough as possible and hiss.
Stop it.
I do. And this woman orgasms so hard. She just holds my arm and lays there shaking. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
This is a man's fantasy that he wrote. This isn't a real date. This isn't a real date. This is Penthouse Forum. He's like, dear Penthouse, this happened. I swear it did.
I'm standing there naked for about 5 minutes. She lets go, takes off her suit, and comes and cuddles me naked on the couch. I'm kind of over this, so I'm just watching the rest of the movie, and she falls asleep in my arms. So I'm like, fuck it, and I fall asleep too. I wake up, and this woman's first words to me, staring me in the face as I open my eyes, are, "Will you marry me?"
Oh.
And I'm like, no, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
This is our second date.
She's super upset now, and I'm just trying to calm her down. But you were so into it last night. Yeah, just for you. I wanted you to have a good time. She told me to get out. Didn't hear from her for a month. then got a text asking if I was sure I didn't want to marry her.
Oh, she needs to go to therapy because it's like she met one guy who was like kind of into the thing that she was into. And she's like, I'm never going to meet another guy who's this enthusiastic about the thing I'm into.
Or not even that he was just like, well, this isn't hurting anything. Like I'll play along or whatever,
right,
but it's not my cup
but
of
I think
tea to like.
She felt like he was really into it. And so it's just like, she's not met anyone who's that enthusiastic about it. So she thinks she's never going to meet anyone else again.
Well, partially is because it's like you spring it on unsuspecting
you can't
people.
do that. You gotta
There's
work through that.
There's a whole community of people that love that kind of thing.
Yeah, what is that?
Why would you subject or spring that on a stranger? You're subjecting yourself to all kinds of uncomfortable situations then, or being judged, or like that kind of thing that you can avoid altogether if you're just open about it. Yeah. Or also, if you can only come from that specific thing, that would be something I would bring that up in therapy and unpack that.
Yeah, you're going to have to unpack that.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit more flexible because it's going to be hard to find a partner. Even if you find a partner who's into it, most likely they're going to have needs of their own that maybe aren't compatible with you being in a cat suit and meowing every single time you have sex. So that's something you need to work through.
Yeah.
Just a lot. Yes.
And it also sounds expensive. Moving cat ears, cattail butt plugs.
Well, but you know what? It's an investment. If you have to use it every time you have sex, like
you're gonna want to keep.
You're
that
getting
clean.
your money's worth.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Do you take that to the dry cleaner?
Oh man,
Sue got laid again, huh?
That's a great business. Is like if you just had dry cleaner, that's just like.
Fetish dry cleaner?
Just fetish dry cleaning because it's like no one's gonna judge you here.
Dude, there's a what's her name? Cody Sanchez always talks about boring businesses being the way to go. Fetish dry cleaning.
Yeah.
Huh?
In case, are you embarrassed to take your cat suit?
Anonymous drop off. Yeah. Drop offs at night only.
Dude, we are coming up with so many $1 million ideas.
I know.
Like, honestly, should we like branch off into a finance?
Cut that out.
You're welcome.
Okay. No, leave it in, Thomas. Okay.
Next thing we know, Thomas has a fetish dry cleaning business in
Springfield, Missouri. You know what?
Honestly,
I think communities like that, like small communities, that's where you want to do it. In LA, people don't care. They're like, I don't care if you know that I do this weird shit. It's small communities.
Yes.
They don't want people to know.
Yeah.
So
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. All right. Thomas, let me know if you're going into business. I'll be your business partner. Okay. I was about 19 and went to get a puncture fixed on my car. Guy at the tire place asked me out and seemed nice enough, so we arranged to go to the pictures. The pictures.
The moving pictures. Did you wear flat caps?
Yes.
When I got there, he was clearly drunk, maybe on something as well. Certainly very twitchy and hyper.
Oh.
He said he'd spent the last of his money on the bus, so could I get the tickets? I bought the tickets and went to queue for popcorn. He said he didn't want me to get food because he couldn't pay for it, so it made him look bad. That's your problem. I'm hungry. I was raging at this point, but went into the cinema and sat down. The film had Gerard Butler in it, and he kept asking loudly if I fancied him. I didn't, but just said, he's okay. He went mental because he looks nothing like Gerard Butler. So how could I fancy them both if they look nothing alike?
Oh my God. I'll show you my spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yoinks.
Tried going to the toilet to make a run for it, but he followed me to the ladies and waited outside. By this point, I'm getting scared. When the film finally finished, I said I'd had a nice time, but really had to go as I had uni early in the morning. He followed me out to my car and said he had no money to get home, so I would have to drive him.
No,
bro.
Your problem. This is a you problem, not a me problem.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I should have called the bloody police, but I was young/stupid and didn't know how to get rid of him. So I drove him towards the rough area he said he stayed in, but then he wouldn't direct me to his house. I should say on the drive, he proudly told me he had been in the army and got sent to army prison and discharged because he bit a hole in another man's face.
Ew.
Ay,
Ew.
yay.
You're in the car with this.
Oh,
Holy
lunatic.
shit.
Can you imagine?
oh my gosh.
I eventually
And
just
then
pull
I drove
over.
to the police station.
I eventually just pull over in the area he said he lived and said he would need to go because I really had to go home. Took about half an hour of trying to stop him groping/kissing me before he finally got out.
Oh no.
Get the fuck out.
My little Corsa had never been driven the way I drove home that night. When I said over text that I didn't want another date, he couldn't understand what had gone wrong and offered to at least wash my car for free.
Oh my God. No.
Why?
Don't come
Because he
near.
works
No.
at the like car place.
Oh, no.
No, horrible.
No.
Like it's just so scary. Like this is the
Gross.
thing. I mean, and I guess the point is like the cruelty is the point, right? Because I'm always like, how do they not know that this would make someone feel unsafe? And I guess making someone feel unsafe is the thing that they want to be doing.
Maybe.
Because
Or they just completely lack empathy. You know,
Yeah.
the ability to like understand why that would
Read a
make a
room.
woman so uncomfortable.
right. Yeah. Being
know?
in a car with a person they don't know who won't tell them where they live and won't get out of their car.
Yeah.
Like that's genuinely so
And then he,
terrifying.
like legitimately,
Like, he
she's just
assaulted
making
her.
out with him, just hoping that he'll just be done and like get out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Horrible
terrible.
situation. Yeah.
That is so often like I don't know a woman that hasn't gone
Had
through
that
a
experience.
date
Everyone
like
has.
that. It's
yeah.
It's true.
Where you
That's
just
the
go
problem,
along
yeah.
to get them out of your
You're just like,
vicinity.
I'm so done with this. Please. Oh my God. Ugh. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love.
yes.
Sounds good.
Cool.
And we're back.
Whoop.
And this week I have the Tainted Love. And I am going to share with you a story that I found really interesting. I found it on the Snapped podcast, Fatal Couples or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deadly Couples. Takes place in Huntington, West Virginia, which is not far from where Christina and I grew up. I think just about an hour and a half away from us
Right.
on the border. It's June 1998. Patricia Aldridge alerts police that her husband Millard is missing. She hasn't seen him since 7:30 that morning. He had an appointment to go get a car recall done, worked on at the dealership. And they were supposed to meet around 11 for lunch. So Patricia, she'd been out running a couple errands. She said the last time she saw him, he had actually moved her car out to the street so he could take his car out to go take it to the dealership. They hugged, whatever. She went out, ran some errands, did a little Walmarting, came back home just before 11 and he's not there. And so she was like, that's really weird because he's a very prompt, very respectable guy. He's always on time. He always shows up when he's supposed to. But she's like, not severely alarmed. I don't know. I didn't know if it was me and Chris wasn't home by the time he said he was going to be home from a car dealership. I'm like, yeah, that shit takes so much longer than you think it's going
Right.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how late
So-
is he?
He's supposed to be back by 11. She gets home a little bit before 11. And he's not there. But at any rate, she waits around a little bit and heads off to work. And by the time around 2 hits, she's like, she has been trying to call him. She's not reaching him. So she decides to head back to the house. At this time too, I think there's cell phones, but I don't know. Like some people have them. I don't know if they're like
What
super
year
prevalent.
is it?
98.
98.
98. Oh yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think they'd be super prevalent in
Well,
98.
I had one,
Yeah, I think I have one too.
My parents had one of
but
those
I don't
big
think my
ones.
parents
Flip one.
did.
Oh,
My
yeah.
parents had
Yeah.
the giant ones, I think.
In
That's-
98?
I think so. Yeah, they were big.
That's a little
Bricks?
late for that.
Nokia bricks.
I had like the little slim Nokia with like the thing on top that made colors and spun. It was like a whole
We had
thing.
that later, like in the
Yeah.
early 2000s. We had the Nokia one, the Nokias.
I had a rumor.
Yeah.
It's not a phone. It's
You had
a
a what?
rumor. I had a rumor.
My first, I had a Motorola Razor.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
A
Everybody
pink
had a
one.
Razor, girl.
Yeah.
A pink one.
You either had a
Yes.
Razor or a Sidekick. You were like one,
That's
or
right.
the one that slid up, or you had a Razor. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a Razor for sure.
I had a
like
slide
the
up.
sleekness.
Yeah. Me too. It felt like the future.
Anyway. Yeah, we were so futuristic back then with our T9 typing. Anyway. Oh man. At any rate, Patricia, like I said, had run a couple errands. She'd went to work. It's 2 p.m. She hadn't heard from him. She'd tried calling home. And so she decided to head back home. And she says when she returns, she entered the garage and no one is there, but there's blood smeared on the floor of her garage. So she freaks out, calls the police, and is like, my husband is missing, but there's also, FYI, there's blood in my garage. So what the fuck is happening? To tell you a little bit about her husband, Millard, he is a local cameraman. He works for the local news station. He came from very humble beginnings. He was one of 3 kids. He and his brother had to leave high school early. His dad worked, hard worker, go to work every day. Mom was a stay-at-home mom. He and his brother ended up having to leave high school early when his father was injured and had to take off work. So basically they had to go to work to keep their house, you know? And so Millard took a job at the local TV station as a janitor. And it was there that he kind of took an interest in film and was able to work his way into like a photojournalistic position, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I think that's really exciting. I mean, like you started a place as a janitor. You're just like, you had to drop out of high school, you know. It probably, I'm sure, aren't in a place where you see yourself with big prospects, but this guy didn't give up on,
I love that.
having a dream, and it was just really exciting. So he really took to this job of photojournalism. I mean, he was like, his brother was like, it was as though he was destined for this position, you know? So Millard at the time had married his high school sweetheart, like just, I think, 2 years later. They ended up having 2 children, and they both worked really, really hard to make the relationship work, but it just didn't work out. And so they did end up eventually divorcing. 4 years after. So this man's like, I'm not looking for a relationship. He's like living his life, enjoying his job, being a good dad. Along came Trish. It's like I said, 4 years after they, you know, he'd been divorced. And Trish, by all aspects, all the family, everybody's like such a good match for Millard. She is the kind of person who lights up a room. She's funny. She's such a big personality. She makes people laugh. And they're kind of very different in that way. She's kind of gregarious and like, you know, like I said, the funny gal, and kind of brings out something in Millard that
so
his family
often in couples, you know?
The black cat and the golden retriever.
Yes, 100%.
Totally. And I think in this relationship, she's of course she's the black cat, right? She's gonna, you know,
well, she's the golden retriever.
There.
She's like you know.
Yes, wag your tail.
Yeah.
Exactly. The wag your tail, excited, you know, and always excited to be around. Yeah, exactly. He's the black cat. Exactly. Chilled, relaxed. No, nah.
Letting her be the star of the show.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're the golden retriever in your relationship, Cassie.
1,000%. There's no question. No question.
And Christina's the black cat in hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. Totally. That's true. I think we are also in the same between each other.
Yeah.
Like I said, good match for Millard. He really came alive in this relationship. They had a great relationship. Patricia, for her part, brought a daughter into the relationship. She'd been married before as well and had a daughter from a relationship. Her name was Jennifer. And Jennifer, from everyone, was like immediately part of the family. She really thought of Millard as her dad. This is the guy, you know, he stepped into her life when she was pretty young and was like a big part of her life. And then they ended up having a son together as well. So there was a him, you know, mine, his, and ours kind of situation. And, you know, so altogether between them, 4 kids. And he's such a good dad. And everybody is like such a good dad. You know, all the family is like, this is just a real stand-up good guy, right? So for Patricia, she was able to kind of really start jumping into her passion projects more than like having to think about like day-to-day work stuff, because Millard had a great job. He was doing well, working for the local station. He made a real career for himself, so she was able to take on sewing work and started her own business called A Stitch in Time, where she was able to take on different sewing projects.
Love it. I love little names like that. Yeah, because we've all been there. Like, there's like every time you go to kind of a small town, there's something like that. Like, I love looking at, one of my favorite things when you're in a small town is to find like the one hair salon and figure out what they call it. Yeah. Like, I think in
a
Willard,
cut above, I think is ours.
Is yours a cut above? Of course. In Willard, it was I think cut up, curl up, and dye.
Oh,
was the name of the hair salon, which is so morbid. And never even really occurred to me how morbid it was. But I'm like, I actually do kind of love it. I wish it was goth themed. Like, what if it was a goth themed?
Yeah, totally.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Pho restaurants are also a favorite of mine. Like, pho restaurants are almost always like jokes.
Yeah, there's some pun involved. Yeah.
My favorites are always Pho King. You're like, we get it.
But you know what is so funny is I probably wouldn't have if I was just looking at the sign. I'd be like, oh, fucking yeah. I wouldn't even think it, but you saying it, I'm like, oh yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. You guys want to go to that restaurant, Pho King? I believe that's Pho King. Anyway,
Stitch in Time.
Stitch in Time, exactly. So, they're living their lives. Everybody's kind of living like their dream, and it's kind of great. She gets to do what she loves. He's in a job that he loves, and, they're very happy together. And so everyone is absolutely shocked when it seems like out of the blue, Millard is completely missing and likely been murdered because, again, the garage is showing signs of struggle. There's blood evidence, which suggests, which the police suggest is they suspect it to be a rage killing because of the way which, like, the blood was, the way that the place had been left, and there is nothing missing in there at all except for the car. So, and obviously Millard. Police add him to the database. They put a BOLO out for his missing car. And really at this point, they're like everybody in this family, everybody is like, why would anyone have anything against Millard? He's a fucking stand-up guy. He's like this stand-up character. Like, he's a good guy. Like, they're this, and not TM, like legitimately like the best kind of human, the kind of person you want to be around, right? The next county over received the alert, saw the BOLO, and sent the Huntington police an alert about the burnt out car and that it could be their missing car. When they get there, they're able to identify the car and begin a ground search in the surrounding area. Millard's body is discovered 10 to 15 feet over an embankment. The body is already in decomp, and the face is so mutilated. At this point, they are unable to identify at that point whether it is Millard. They call his brother out to the scene to identify him.
I never want to be in that position.
No.
Awful.
Yeah.
Devastating.
For anyone, but a sibling that you're close to especially is just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Awful. He's able to identify his brother through a tattoo that he'd gotten when he was young. It looked like a home tattooed M on his arm and a scar that he had on his leg. The autopsy reveals that it was the cause of death was blunt force trauma. And police feel like the murder itself is absolutely overkill and that this is definitely something personal. They suspect as well that it's someone equal his size or larger, because like the amount of it was pretty gruesome, and it couldn't have been somebody smaller than him that would have been able to do something like this. Jennifer is interviewed. This is Millard's stepdaughter, who was he raised. his stepdaughter reveals when the police interview her that her mother actually was having an affair with a man named Mitchell Vickers. They had met. They had been meeting actually at her apartment. I would be fucking furious. And there were a box of love letters, and Vickers had threatened Jennifer that if she said anything to Millard, basically it was done.
Wait. So her mother was coming over to her apartment to have an affair on the stepfather that raised her. Wow.
Yeah, that'd be a hard no for me. I know it's hard to tell your mom no, but
it's not even that. But Vickers, her boyfriend, apparently had threatened her.
No, mom, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
mom,
no,
get a grip.
Jesus,
get a fucking
seriously.
Grip. She had told police though that she was completely frightened of him. She was like, I was scared to say anything because he threatened me. Police looked into Vickers' background, saw that he had been convicted of a robbery, that he had been able to stay out of jail for a while because he had an ailing mother that he had to attend to, but was to report back to authorities for a transfer to prison to serve a sentence. It was during this time while he was out that Millard had gone missing and subsequently was found dead. Police reach out to Patricia.
That you can just be like, my mom is sick, I can't go to jail?
I don't think so.
I think so. That jail soup's inconvenient for me right now. I have a lot going on. We're doing Q4 budgets. This
is just not a good
That feels
time.
like something that I don't feel like is.
I don't think it's common.
I don't think a lot of people get that privilege of just being like, I've got some family shit I have to take care of. I can't go to I can't go to prison right now. Like. Okay.
Actually. Anyway, police reach out to Patricia. She admits that she had been having an affair with Mitch Vickers, that they had been in old flames in their younger days. And, this is somebody that she'd had a relationship when she was a lot younger. And when he had returned to town after years being away, they had rekindled the relationship. Mitch is the literal antithesis of Millard. Millard is this stand-up, good guy, gentle soul, and Mitch is the bad boy, right? Mm-hmm. So they're complete opposites. Patricia admits
Rocky
that to the affair, but what's that?
Rocky and Al, Paloma Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
It's the difference between Rocky and Al. Mm-hmm. Just keeps, and Rocky keeps calling her back, Dina, don't do it.
Don't do it, Dina. Rocky isn't good for you. No. This is what your friend Rita's been trying to tell you.
Rhonda.
Why do you calling her Rita?
There is a Rita.
There is a Rita. Oh. Yeah, Rocky was with Rita for a minute, but
that's right.
He left. They were going to get married.
I know. It's a soap
You can't
opera.
be having a Rhonda and a Rita. It's too much. Mitch is, like I said, the literal antithesis of him. So opposites, right? During the interview at Patricia's home, a call comes in. And Patricia hands the phone over to the police and say, it's Mitch and he'd like to speak to you. It is Mitch. He's calling to admit that he had done it. He had been the one who had killed Millard and Trish had nothing to do with it. He gave the police his location and he is ready to turn himself in. So the police, of course, are shocked. They're also curious as to what the motive could fully be. Like, why would he do this? Also, too, he's about to go to prison. Like, what is he doing? Patricia had said that, they were dating, but when he had gotten arrested for the robbery is when she had called it off with him. And, obviously he was going to go to prison. So it was like, we're donezo.
Yeah.
So it's all very shocking. They don't understand, like, what is the motive behind this? Police pick him up. And I need you to understand that they pick him up, not like from his house. He's in his like pickup truck underneath like a fucking overpass, like a bridge. And the police officers pull up, take him out of his car. He's like shirtless. Like they're literally interviewing this man shirtless. So the reenactment part could have been him under the bridge. So I don't know if that was exactly true, but in the interview, the man is completely shirtless, just sitting there.
Where is his shirt at? Why are you driving around town without a shirt on?
Chris said the same thing. He's like, why does he not have a fucking shirt on?
But you know what? I remember watching that Natalia Grace documentary. And I will never get the vision of that guy who got interviewed without his shirt on. Like, I'm like,
why?
Yeah. Like, this is going to be, I don't know. Just,
I mean, this guy doesn't know that this is probably going to be.
No, he doesn't know that he's going to get arrested. But I'm like, you are in public, though.
You basically confess to a murder, most foul and heinous, and also, why wouldn't you have so now the car is just there? Why wouldn't you have them arrest them at your home where now someone's got to deal with the fucking car? I don't know. They're not thinking it through.
I have questions.
There's a lot of questions.
And like I said, that part could have been a reenactment, Christina, just to be clear.
Oh yeah,
it is snapped. Yeah.
It's not real.
It's not known for I don't know that the reenactments are known for their authenticity.
Yes. It could. However, he was absolutely shirtless. That part's true. That I know for a fact because they're interviewing him sans the shirt, and I'm just like,
if I was the person giving the interview, even I'd be like, this is distracting. Can we run to a Walmart and just get him a white tee,
a $5
or something?
Lost and found?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a prison jacket for a shirt for him or
cover
anything.
that up?
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, police, of course, shocked. They pick him up and take him in for questioning. Vickers is ready to give him a statement. He's just like, I'm going to just tell you. He tells police that he and Patricia were reunited, as she had said, by mutual friends. Very quickly realized the attraction was still there. And, sparks flew once again. In his statement, he tells police that he can't, in good conscience, basically, he's like, listen, yeah, I fucking did it and he deserved it. And I can't go back to prison and in good conscience, go back to prison knowing that the love of my life is being beaten by her drunkard husband.
That old tale.
He told them that he had snuck into the garage around 4:30 that morning. The door had been left open and he waited there until Millard had come out to take out the trash. I'm going to spare you a lot of details. Know that he was beaten and it was awful. So I told you about the scene. But in his interview, he's very much coming off as not somebody who is devastated by what he did. He's very much playing. Yeah. No, he feels absolutely justified in what he did. He feels that he saved somebody. And if he hadn't done this, possibly the love of his life could be murdered by this awful person.
Trish, just get divorced.
Yeah, honestly.
So he stays very adamant, though, that Patricia had nothing to do with this. The family is obviously stunned. No one has ever known Millard to be a violent person. He has never, ever been the person even to really even raise his voice. He's just that kind of guy. I want to see
how much life insurance he's got, too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
So police are certain that Patricia must be involved because her story doesn't even line up. Basically, she had told them that 7:30 that morning he had driven her car to the front of the house. So if at 4:30, somebody's there waiting for him, just shit's not lining up, right? Mm-hmm. So they also noticed that in the garage, there seems to be an area in which there isn't blood. And so they're like, that kind of matches up with maybe possibly a vehicle having been in here. So they search her vehicle and find blood splatter in multiple places on the car, on the outside of the car. So they know for a fact that, again, whatever she said, not lining up with what really happened. Also, though, the family is stunned that she would even be considered to be involved because I think at this point, too, they're just like, she's a devastated widow. She's she's playing the part well. Mm-hmm. Police find blood on her van, like I said, and that they then find out from a former inmate that had been in jail with Vickers previously that he comes forward as well and says that on a few occasions, Vickers had reached out to him and asked him to take out this guy. And on one of those occasions, his girlfriend, Patricia, was with them and offered $7,500, to which he refuses. He's like, I'm not going to do that. But this, of course,
I mean, don't do it, period. But
yeah. We've heard less on this podcast, which is disgusting, but all of it's gross. But this, of course, confirms the police's theory that Patricia's obviously involved. She wouldn't, if she didn't know about it, she wasn't involved, she wouldn't have been with her boyfriend when they asked for someone else to do this. Friends of the couple supply the real reason, though, behind Patricia's wanting Millard to be dead instead of divorcing. And of course it is for the money. Police do a little bit more investigating. Her business, A Stitch in Time, had filed for bankruptcy, and without Millard, she would have nothing. His death benefits were a year's salary from the station. And he had also worked, his way into his 401k, which was worth like $250,000 at least in insurance and benefits, around basically nearly totaling $300,000, which is like $550,000 in today's money. Also in Huntington, West Virginia, which is like,
it's going to go further.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's going to go a lot further. It's like, Mitchell is finally told, though, Mitchell Vickers is told that Patricia actually was lying about the abuse. He never, confirming, like, he actually did his own, like, or you can't be right, confirmed. So at this point, he's like, okay, oh, really? This bitch fucking used me. He, in his words, buffaloed me. And he is no longer inclined to go along with covering for her. He admits that Trish was who disabled the outside light and had left the garage door open so that he could enter, and that after she committed the murder, he had put Millard in the trunk of Millard's car, and they had drove out there together, and that she had helped him set the car on fire. I mean, like, she was completely involved in the whole thing. On July 3rd, they're finally having the funeral. Patricia is in attendance.
Oh, the balls.
And at this point, the family is already pretty sure and pretty aware of her involvement. So they're literally watching her play sob story widow and are like, when is the shoe going to drop? Well, the shoe drops when they take the body to the cemetery, and she's arrested in front of everyone for the murder of her husband. Mitchell Vickers, for his part, is convicted of first-degree murder without mercy, which basically means no parole. And then Patricia Aldridge as well is also found guilty with life, also without parole. For his family, the brother basically says, more than anything, they want Millard's legacy to live on as the caring, kind, gentle man and father that he was. So that is the awful, awful story of Millard.
I'm glad that that guy,
Aldridge.
Came forward, and started telling the truth. But I do always get irritated whenever people like that are like, I was bamboozled. It's like, okay, like she lied to you, but I can safely say that nothing anyone told me would be able to like convince me to take someone out for them.
I'd be like, oh, like I can.
How can we help you?
To, the police or a safe space, all of that stuff. But I would never be like, well, we need to get rid of him then, And especially like he was going to jail and they weren't going to like be together.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, and that's the thing too. And I think that that's what the urgency came from.
Someone had to keep her safe.
Yeah. She's not going to be safe. If he's not there to protect her, he's not available to be there to protect her, then what's her life going to be like if she doesn't have anybody to go to and she's so scared, It's just a really shitty situation.
And why would she want to leave Millard and like a comfortable life or whatever for someone that's getting ready to go into jail? So she really just did it for the money.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, money and freedom probably. She probably didn't really want to be with either of them. She just wanted to do her own thing.
Truly.
But she didn't want to go through
But she didn't want to work.
a divorce and losing things and having to start over. So to her, that seemed like the best solution. She doesn't have to be with this guy because he's going to jail.
Right. People's long-term thinking is
deeply impaired.
Yeah. Truly. You're going to want to, remove yourself, look down, watch the ripple effects go. Because,
Not a single earth sign in her chart at all.
No.
Oh, no. No. She's probably a Scorpio with an Aries rising.
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, my gosh. Well, what are you guys watching this week?
Well, I already talked to you about the fact that I watched both the new Zodiac documentary on
I want to watch it.
Netflix. You got to watch it because this is the Zodiac
It'll blow
calling.
your mind.
I'm 100% convinced that they know who the Zodiac was. I did also watch the Anatomy of Lies documentary on Peacock. I've had a real true crimey time of it.
Right.
And then, so what I do want to talk about is I listened to a new podcast called Noble. I don't know if you've heard about this. It just came up on my recommended. So I was like, okay, I
listened.
I want a series. You listened?
Yes.
I had not heard about this before. It happened in 2002, and I'm not going to share too much, but it's basically like a scandal involving a crematorium in Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
And
I can't believe I hadn't heard about it.
I hadn't heard about it.
You guys didn't hear about it?
Well, I thought it was going to be a different thing. So I don't know if it's the same one that you're thinking of, because I thought it was going to be a different crematory scandal, and it wasn't that. It was something else. And the first 2 episodes, I have to give a warning because they are so graphic in explaining like decomposing bodies and stuff like that, and the things that they saw there. And it truly did feel like a horror movie scenario.
Wow.
So, but the podcast itself was very, very interesting because it kind of like, it's more than just the horror of what happened. It's like also looking into, the family that ran the crematorium and like what could have been the reason and what played into everything, and, dealing with potential racism in the South. And it was well done. I enjoyed it. So just go in knowing that, like, if you are squeamish, or I know for you, Christina, like if you've ever had a loved one cremated, it might be triggering for you. So just know that if you're going to listen to it. But Noble is the name of the podcast.
I have something, Cassie, that you need to watch immediately, if not sooner. I think it's called It's Florida Man.
I saw the ads on Max.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's on Max. It is like if the Charlie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, and Drunk History got married and had a baby.
Jesus.
So it is chaos. Real people from Florida telling a Florida story, and actors reenacting.
I'm so in.
It is so fucking funny. The first episode. So I have been smoking a lot more weed to calm down at night. Also just because I have not been able to really drink. But so I'm high and I'm watching. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? These are the craziest stories you've ever heard. So I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I laughed so hard. I almost pissed the couch. It was so funny. The first episode is just called Toes.
Oh, I'm watching this as soon as you guys hang up.
It's so funny. I can't wait for you guys. Yes. So you have to watch it like immediately and talk to me about it. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
amazing. God. I actually watched. Okay, I'm going to tell you the 2 things I watched. First, Love Is Blind. Love Is Blind, and it was the finale just the other day.
I've heard it's bonkers.
Wow. Look, I haven't watched any of it, but those men all look like Kroger brands of other men. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm looking at these guys and I'm just like, what are they doing on Love Is Blind? Like, are they going out of their way to get and the clips I've seen, I'm just like, all the people, not just the guys. I'm like, are they going out of their way to get the
here's
dumbest
the thing
people
that
I've ever seen?
Yes. Here's the thing that I really liked about this season is that, in the prior seasons, it's like they walk down the aisle and then they're like, nope, love's not blind, bye. This season, like anybody that kind of quit the relationship, quit before they walked down the aisle. So you're only left with like a couple couples, and we know that we know in advance, like they're committed, they are going to get married. Anybody that was like, I don't think I can go through with this, cut it off before that point, which I like and appreciate, because I don't like I would literally fast forward through that whole episode, just like, all right, did they go? Okay, great. They got no, they didn't get married. Just just like, because it's so annoying. Like, you don't need it. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing I liked. But yeah, this season was interesting. The other thing that I watched, and I will take, I'm embarrassed, okay? Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say it.
It's a safe
Don't look at me when I say it.
It's okay.
I watched Irish Wish.
What?
Is that like a Hallmark movie?
It's on Netflix, and it has Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Listen, you don't need to feel ashamed about this. Sometimes you need to come for a silly movie.
After the last Lindsay Lohan movie we watched, I was like, well, this is going to be fucking awful because girl doesn't have a face no more. It's so tight. She doesn't act good no more. Like, it's a problem. I was blown away. Only because I was like, maybe I just
because of
thought
where your
it was going to be awful.
expectations were.
My expectations were on the floor. So I was like, oh, this is actually really good.
Oh, I love that for her. I love that for Lindsay.
I actually enjoyed it.
I want her to do well. I do.
Yes, I actually enjoyed it. So I was shocked and surprised. And then I watched Beetlejuice, which I was also shocked and surprised to like. So
I enjoyed Beetlejuice too.
Okay. I thought it was good.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey, if you guys have something that we should watch, if you have a terrible dating story, especially as we're heading into the holidays, if you have an absolute shit show of a meet the parents story, this is my favorite time of year, or company holiday party story.
Perfection.
Go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.